J-Weeks Entertainment presents Black to the Basics, the People's Podcast. J-Erv C-Jizzle, J-Weeks.
Black to the basics, and no it ain't racist. Talking about what we're hated, getting underrated, thinking that we're uneducated. Black to the basics, 3 kings, 3 rings, that are talking about real life things, real life things. Oh, new, sports news, black love, silver love, you choose. Black to the basics.
Like I was saying, if black people just stick together, there's nothing that we can't accomplish.
Every day we fight for this life, trying to do good for our people, praying that they don't take our life. Every day is like good versus evil. Turn to the mic so we can talk about it. Vision so clear you couldn't see without it. It's time to get black to the basics, all about the culture of all the black faces. Black to the basics, and no it ain't racist.
Hey, we are here.
What's going on?
Here. What's going on? Black to the Basics, aka the People's Podcast, is here. I am your host and 1/3, Mr. J-Weeks, aka 52 the Boss. Here with my man
J-Erv, VA all day, stand up, 2 up, 2 down. You know what it is when J-Erv is in your town. What's going on, y'all?
What's going on, fellas? It's your boy C-Jizzle, aka Mr. Bring That Heat, Florida born, South Georgia raised. The biggest Gator fan in the land. Let's go. What's up?
Hey, what's going on? Hey, fellas. How y'all feel? How y'all feel?
Man, still like cloud 9,
It's
man.
cloud.
You know
Excellent,
what I mean?
man.
Still trying to take it all in?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like
Another week, man.
Yeah.
Another week, they got to learn a little bit about us.
Mm-hmm.
But today, we want to switch gears a little bit. We're going to really dive into some topics. I know people were wondering kind of what we're going to talk about. But of course, before we start anything, we got to make sure we let them know. We got to educate the people. So we're going to look to my man C-Jizzle to give us that black fact of the day.
Black fact of the day brought to you by Mr. Bring That Heat. All right, so we are in February.
Yep.
So kind of just to give you guys a background story, it is Black History Month.
Absolutely.
It's our month.
Yes,
We
sir.
celebrate it
Absolutely.
as is. So I'm going to give you all kind of a history on Black History Month.
Okay, let's go.
All right. So on February 1926, Carter G. Woodson initiated the first celebration of Negro History Week, which led to Black History Month. Mr. Wilson chose February for Negro History Week for reasons of tradition and reform. It's commonly said that Mr. Woodson selected February to accomplish the birthdays of 2 great Americans who played a prominent role in shaping Black history, namely Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass.
Hey, Frederick Douglass, D.C. That's dope. So you mean to tell me we not just celebrated because it's the shortest month?
We not celebrate, which I thought
That's
was going to give us
that's what I
they gonna
thought.
give us 28 days, but to hear that the person who came up with it, the gentleman who came up with it,
Right.
chose February, and for those reasons, so if he chose it, I can ride with it.
Yeah, I can rock with that. And that's big, man. Like I said, I'm with you, Weeks. I thought it was because
They're going to give us the shortest month.
You know what I'm saying? Like, here y'all go, take that.
Take these 28 days.
Right.
29 this year.
29 episode at least.
Hey, shout out to the Black Fact.
Let's
of the
go,
day.
man.
Definitely.
Shout out. Let's go.
Of course, man, we got to always keep our ear to the streets. And for that, we got to lean on my man J-Erv.
J-Erv.
That word on the street.
4, 3, 2.
Word on the street today brought to you by no other than my man Akon. So a lot of people been like, "What's going on with Akon?"
Yeah,
He ain't
what
really
was
trying
going
to
on?
music, man. Let me tell you what this brother's been doing, man.
Let's see what we got.
He's he got approved for his own city over in Senegal. Akon City. It's going to be 100% renewable.
Okay.
This brother's been doing big things for his homeland, his country.
Yes.
It's going to have his own cryptocurrency.
Okay.
Called A-Coin, which is very, very big. And
Yes.
also,
Oh.
on top of that, right? So for this month, 54 states in Africa are going to start supporting the A-Coin
Okay.
currency. I just saw that. So,
this man changed the
yeah,
game.
he changed the game. I mean, renewable energy. It's got their own airport, man. He's really, people always say, like, never forget where you come from. This man is really
He's living it.
He's living that.
Yeah, 'cause he's from Senegal, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And here's the thing, though, man. You don't see him on social media like, look at me, What am I doing? He's putting on for his people and for generations to come, man. So shout out to Akon.
Shout out to the Akon.
Definitely Akon. Akon City, a whole city now?
Whole city,
God,
crazy.
That's something to a whole nother level. You can't say like I got $1 million crib. I got a whole city.
I got a city.
He ain't got no street on. Most time people get the street.
Get the street. You gotta die for that most times.
Yeah, that's which is sad, by the way.
Right.
Oh, and on top of that, the president over there gave him 2,000 acres. Like, here, had it.
Oh, wow.
This is what you putting this on.
Oh man, that's another.
Let's get another hand.
Let's get it. That's taken to a whole nother level. And a lot of times, that's the real Wakanda forever.
Absolutely.
That's dope that you can have, not only think about what you're doing, you know, of course, when you're in the music industry, you're trying to make the most money, have the nicest car, the house, that's the perception of everything.
Right.
But to be able to give back on that magnitude, I mean, we've heard about him supplying power to millions of different people.
Absolutely, yeah.
But to have a whole city, like, it's crazy.
He's really he's outside of that box from the rapper / performer kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
That's changed the whole perception of everything.
Dream bigger. Like them record deals they get, we all know that the artists don't make money when sorry for all the artists out there, but your
360 deals.
Money don't come from the deals. That's why you see these guys, touring and venturing off to get their, vodkas. We know what y'all do.
Yeah.
So shout out to that man. He's really, really putting on for his country and for his people, man. That's
we gotta let that be known for the kids out there, man.
Absolutely.
You don't have to be, even if you're an artist, don't get caught into that. And I think our biggest example of that is people like Master P.
Yeah, man.
Hey,
Master P is the GOAT, though. Like he don't get a lot of credit. I'm sorry, I know this.
Yeah, because they're not gonna talk about what we're doing well.
Right.
But let Master P fall.
I just had some rap snacks the other day, though. That's the coolest thing.
Think about it like this, man. Master P started, he rapped.
Yes.
Had his label. He played in the NBA for a little bit.
Makes movies.
Dog, what more?
Independent.
Right. All independent. Like, what more could you ask
I think he's slaying, what, 100,000 out the trunk of his car?
Yeah. I don't know what he did, but dog.
You can't even get 100,000 people to follow you on Instagram.
Right. 1,000 people for that matter. Like, my man played in the league for a little bit, dog.
Yeah,
it was getting buckets.
Hey, but he always preached, bet on yourself.
Yeah, you're right.
He always preached that. So let that be a lesson, though. But yeah, man, appreciate the word on the street and definitely the black fact. We always want to educate people and let them know we got the word on the street. We keep our ear to the street.
Yes.
But today we are talking about role models. More specifically, the importance of role models. Is it good? Is it bad? Are you a role model? Do you know people that are role models? So I guess before we go ahead and start, let's just, let's go ahead and get into it. Do you have, each of you, I'm going to lean on you first, J-Erv.
Okay.
Do you have someone that's a role model? And we'll start, I know most people always have entertainers and things, but what about you? Any role models for you?
I do. I actually have a couple. I'm going to shout them out right quick. So if I'm start my father, Lawrence Irvin, Curtis Pressey, Mr. Scott Williams.
Yeah.
Who else am I missing? Oh, my Uncle Bruce and my Uncle Gary, man. Like those, they are what I aspire to be. Like they all come from different walks of life. I've learned a lot from these gentlemen, and just trying to implement what they do well, their teachings into my everyday life. So those are my role models. I never really idolized like entertainers other than a couple athletes growing up. Right. However, I wanted to be able to be real life, like seeing real people I know, talk to, and give me that advice that I need to. And that's what helped me be, shape me to be the man I am today. So
I like it. What about you? C-Jizzle?
Piggybacking off of my guy J-Erv. First off, my mother. Mama, I love you, girl. My mom. That's my biggest role model. I am who I am today. I walk like I walk, talk like I talk because of my mom. And, just doing everything you got to do to take care of your family, make your family happy, and do it with a smile on your face because it's not easy. It's not easy. So that's my mom. My father, just taught me a man goes to work, he comes home, he take care of the bills, he does what he's supposed to do to provide for his family.
Yeah.
Never remember my dad out there in the streets, anything like that. So I always knew what kind of person I wanted to be.
Right.
As far as
that's dope, man. And not only that, it's dope that he can name mom and dad. That's a rare.
It's rare. It's rare, and that's what I made sure that. Because I had it, my kids will have it as well.
Right.
We ain't gonna be none of that single parent household. Not the single parents out there, but
Hey,
it's
keep
big
doing
to
your
have.
things, but yeah.
It's big to have both of those figures in your life.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so for me, to go along with both of you, definitely my Dukes. My mother and my grandmother, actually. My mother, my grandmother, and definitely my grandfather, which is, it's like my godfather, my grandfather. He's literally, when I think of a man or male or figure that I wanted to be like or just try to watch and understood, it had to be him. And my vision, I looked at him as like the greatest human to ever step foot on this earth. I never seen him get upset, curse, get angry, complain about his situation.
That's very rare.
So to me, to see that was definitely great. But for my mom, same thing. My mom, single mother, did it on her own, 3 kids, never complained. And literally someone who literally laid her life down for her kids. Literally, a lot of people will say, oh, they post a picture with their kids. Hey, the reason I breathe.
Yeah. And
my
kids, grandma,
you ain't never seen them other than they post their pictures. They ain't never got their kids, man.
Right.
And so a lot of fellas out there too like that. But
Yes, a lot, yeah.
Yeah. And so we gonna dispel that though. But my mom definitely was someone who dedicated everything to her kids, to me and my sister. So she really showed me what it was to kind of just bet on yourself again. My mom was someone who didn't, like, her thing was, I say no to your no.
Yeah.
So when somebody told her no, she's like, well, what does that mean?
Right.
And my grandmother my grandmother is probably the most gangster person I've ever met. That's the real OG, triple OG. But more importantly about my grandmother, she made me understood what it was to live life according to how you want it. I can honestly say my grandmother was someone who lived life on her terms.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like my grandmother, there's a saying that Shakespeare had, you've been an actor, got to drop the acting things in it. Shakespeare has a quote where he says, to thine own self be true. And that was my grandmother. She was always true to herself. Now, some people, you may not like it, didn't like it, she didn't care.
But you got to respect.
She was going to tell you how she felt, and that was just what it was going to be. And now, to see her now, it's been about 4 years, going on 4 years since she's passed for it. Even to the point, my grandmother had stage 4 cancer, and she lived for almost 8 years.
Man, that's crazy.
Wow.
You don't hear that.
Yeah, you don't hear that at all. She was gonna go out on her terms.
Yeah. So when I say she's a G, Grandma Dukes, she was an OG. Like my grandma, it's funny now, but my grandmother was so bad. Like she would be like smoking before she would go to like chemo or something. Like, what are you doing?
Hey, I'm gonna do
Hey,
listen, man.
And I remember me and my mom
Yeah.
and sisters, we would pray for her, like, try to change her. But the more we prayed for her, the more she was just her. So it made me understood that she understood this is who I am. No one's going to change me. She never tried to be a certain way or pretend to be. Like if she met you and she ain't rock with you, you was going to know. And I think it let me see that, okay, it's okay to be who you are. There's nothing wrong with that. And now I feel like there's the perception that you got to like everybody. You got to agree with everything.
Right.
If you do something, I got to rock with you all the time.
That's not how she
You
feels.
my man. You my brother. J-Erv, you my brother. I love you. But I'm not going to agree with everything that you say or do. But does that mean anything that we got to have an issue? Nah.
No, but that'll help me get better.
Right.
So we have a lot of, not our
Yes,
circle, but it's a lot of yes men out here.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, what you doing? Oh, I'm because I rock with him, regardless if that's right or wrong, I'm still
True.
rock with him. That shit, that's not helping your brother. That's
Nah.
enabling him to continue to do dumb
Yeah.
stuff.
How you feel about that, Jules?
I feel, but one, to hear you talk about your mother and grandma,
Yeah.
I can, knowing you,
Yeah.
I can see that. Like, I'm like, you can tell they shaped J weak, so that was really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
The role model piece, you got to have that in your life. Like Erv was saying,
Yeah.
you have to like have those people who will tell you, like, if I got the boogie in my nose, I need that person to tell me, hey man, you got
I mean,
that
I think
boogie.
that's how you judge people.
Yes.
If you got something on your face and you may Erv up, like,
Don't say nothing
you
to
slipping.
You not really looking out for
You,
you.
you had out here looking crazy, right? You know what I mean?
You probably can't trust it. And you hit on it, so we're going to dive right into it. Do you think, and I'm going to start with Jizzle, do you think it is important to have a role model? And if so, why is it important to have a role model?
It's very important to have a role model. You're going to have role models regardless if you're looking for them or not.
Okay.
It just is what it is.
Right.
So in our community, we don't have a a lot to look up to. So when I was coming up, most of the rich people that looked like me was young, black. They either played ball or they were entertainers.
Sports and entertainment.
I really didn't have anyone to look up to outside of my mom and dad that wasn't a rapper, a singer, or a ball player. But then you look at some other cultures where, like say, a white kid, they go to the doctor looks like him. They go to the dentist looks like him. You look at the engineers look the same. All the astronauts look the same. All the presidents, besides my boy B-Rack. So,
Shut up, Barack.
It's so important for us to have role models so my kids, your kids, we're not in a box. We don't have to be in that box. Shout out to my boy Chris Sykes. I'm glad we had this conversation beforehand, man. It's so important for our culture. We have to get out of that box that we put ourselves in to say, this is the only avenue you can take. This is the only route you can take.
Yeah, and along with that, what about you? What do you think, J-Erv?
For me, I think having a role model is very important. I know I talked about the male figures, you know, as far as role model, but this is probably the first time I've, discussed this, talking about the backbone of my foundation was my mother. I just recently lost, my mother last August, so that was everything. She was a single parent for a while. I'm the oldest of 6 kids, so my mom worked 2 jobs. I took a lot of responsibility to help, raise my siblings. But no matter how she was feeling, she battled, cancer. No matter how she was feeling, even to the day that she left this earth.
You said single mom too?
For a little bit. But she, she was always, willing to give the clothes off of her back. Just her work ethic. She didn't really ask for handouts and stuff like that. So that's kind of like what I look for.
Which makes sense because that's how you move.
Anybody, you can see you about it.
And let me tell you a story about my man, J-Erv.
So, be careful now.
So this dude, we used to work together, right? Not gonna say where we used to work. But anyway, you know how when you work with somebody, they like, yo, I'm about to go take my lunch break. I'm about to go to XYZ place. So my man was going to Chick-fil-A. So I'm telling him, everybody, hey, anybody want anything? Hey, yo, bring me, I said, hey, give me the 12-count lemonade, blah, blah, blah. Give him an order. I take out the money. This dude looked at me like, you just thought I called him out his name or something. He looked at me like, I want your money? I'm like, nah, dog, I'm paying for my order. He's like, man, stop playing with me. Like, this dude looked like he wanted to fight me. And from that moment on, I knew this dude was like real because, most times people going to hit you with your meal going to be $20. So you can go ahead and give me 20. Chick-fil-A high.
Right. They not that high.
And people,
Hey, I feel you. If I was going to lunch, if I'm the one going, you paying for me too, right? Or you don't want me to bring you back. So this is a real genuine guy.
It's supposed to be I fly, you buy.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's my gas, my walk, my time.
Right, but I knew right there the dude was solid. And even with Erv, you can hit Erv, hey, dog, I need X, Y, Z. He gets offended when you don't ask him. Or if you ask him like, hey, dog, I need, like, dog, why you give me this long story? Like, what do you need, dog? Let's get to the point.
But with that, though, man, it's about who you're dealing with. So, you guys, could call me. We had a conversation the other day. I'm like, dude, like, you ain't got to give you ain't got to give that. Listen, like, what do you need? You know what I'm saying? Like, now everybody doesn't get that from me.
Right. You said don't get it to me.
When
we do our pop-up shop.
I knew I was in the circle when my son had a little incident at school. I just so happened to mention to J-Erv, and he was like, so what time we pulling up?
What we pulling up at?
So it's like, that's family right now.
Nah, but you need to have people that's going to be like that, that's going to say, hey, what do you need? Because now I feel like now with the boom of the social media and everything, everything is self-made, I did it on my own. Get yours. I got me. Why you can't get yours? So having people that say, nah, dog, like, what you need? And I feel like even going back to role models, I feel like my biggest thing, I try to be a role model for my kids and any kids around. When I'm around your kids, I instantly go to daddy mode.
Right.
And sometimes, I feel myself, sometimes I be like, I can't, I ain't got a dad. Let me draw back. Oh, my God. I'm talking to my wife like, did I overstep?
No, it takes a village, man. It takes a village. If you don't understand that, I can't.
And that's it. A lot of people don't. And just to let y'all, for the people listening, I am a sports dad. If you play any sport, you let me know. I will pull up soccer, lacrosse, rugby, spelling bees,
You ain't your queen.
Yeah.
Your queen.
Oh yeah.
She probably done made this
Oh,
many
yeah.
games as me.
Oh yeah, easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Esperanza ain't missing no game. Yeah. And she'll be out there. We go full coach mode, and I get so wrapped up. It's because me growing up, I didn't have, of course you had the people that you hang out with, but all the people that I really hung out with, we didn't have dads. So we were like each other's fathers,
Yeah.
So we looked out for one another. So being able to be in a position now where I could be a father and be a role model for my kids, I love the opportunity to do that. I love to be able to say, yo, let me help you with your homework. Now, I might have to hand it to your mom because certain subjects ain't really my thing. You got projects, essays. Hey, I got you.
Talk to the moms.
Yeah, now, Eve with the math, that's all King. Yeah.
Don't bring me nothing. Don't bring me nothing. I'm going to say, did you ask your mom? And if she don't know, did you ask Google? I'm good on that.
So you a Google University.
Oh,
man.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Proud, right?
That's crazy, though, man. I just can remember, like, and I'm just sitting here now just thinking about her, like, at the time when she was working those two jobs, before Curtis got involved. Shout out Curtis, I love you to death.
Yeah.
I, got to sports, so I was always that kid that, like, my parents weren't there. My dad lives here in Georgia, so when he did come, that was always a blessing. But for the most part, like, I played sports. My mom was either at work, she was at home with my baby. So when she showed up, I can hear her right now, like, yelling. And it just made me go that much harder. So like that influence that that she had, like that's just what pushed me.
It makes a difference. You wanna go, man. Go out there and put up 40, man.
Yeah, like the first track meet she showed up to, I ran so fast, like, I literally passed out. No exaggeration. Wow. I couldn't breathe. I was so excited when I looked and I saw her, and I could just hear her, like one of the loudest people, like, "Let's go, baby!" Like, what I mean?
Your mom or something. Anyway.
Right.
Now my story was opposite. Now when I played basketball, I remember this happened the day everybody happened to be off this day.
Okay.
My cousin that got out of jail. Family members there, grandparents. I was like, it's a celebration.
Okay.
I'm balling. So I'm ready to ball. I'm in my rec league, 12 and under. I'm gonna ball out. I went all in, and I fouled out in the first half.
That's crazy.
Oh, no.
You know how embarrassing it is to foul out with your family?
Because they're gonna let you feel.
They fired you out. The coach didn't take you out the game.
Nah,
that's a setup, bro. He was trying to get you.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, go and do that, man. Obviously, you like I had the Russell Wilson. I had Russell Westbrook. I had that energy, but I just was not controlling. I mean, as soon as somebody comes,
we know.
So what you trying to say, though?
But I watched you when we went to the hoop, though. Like CJ, what you do, bro?
Robot. I ain't never seen nothing like this. We grown now. We are dads. So a good game of 1 or 2 games of full court ball after playing 21.
Injuries hit different, though.
The injuries hit different. I could barely move, and this dude is doing cartwheels, literally on the court.
He was running. He was running down the court. I'm running right beside him. He trips and falls on his back. Does a barrel roll, gets up and keep on running. I say, you know what? His level of energy, I'm good. Like, I just want to be out here. I want to get home and see my kids.
I told y'all, man, I'm not. So, to your point. But C-Jizzle will be in the gym and run on the treadmill for 45 minutes. Like he running a marathon. I got a good 30 seconds. I really couldn't do the 40-yard dash. Mine was more like a 30. I'm quick. I'm not fast, so I'm quick. So, but my only sense of cardio was always basketball. You play basketball, I'll give you about 7-8 games. No problem.
Literally. Before getting tired.
I'll never forget, man. I'm going to move on.
But one of the reasons why I do work out, though, just, tying it back into the whole role model pieces, I want my sons to see, like, hey, that's what a man does. Like, daily, you take care of your body. Now, not to say you got to work out rigorously 7 days a week, nothing like that, but you got to eat right and you got to take care of your body. That's just what men do.
Hey, health is
well. So how it is in my home, my sons will actually look at me like they're still getting accustomed to me taking off Saturdays from working out.
Right.
And they will look at me like, we not working out today? Like, we not getting in?
Oh.
Even my baby be out there with us, when I'm working out. So I'm teaching them young, you got to start them at that age.
The good thing with that, though, they actually see you doing it. And you're actually
you building that work
actually involving them with it. You know what I mean?
Yes. So, y'all always tell me, come on out here, let's get this work. Shout out to
Grizzly Gang. Hey, Grizzly Gang. They gonna know about it. But even my son, you talk about that. It's funny because I remember one time I was working out with King. King like, yo, I want to work out with you, Dad. I said, cool. So he said, hold on. If I work out, I'm gonna have abs like you, Dad.
I remember that.
I said, yeah, man. So this dude worked out with me that day. The next day, this dude wake up, told me something. Hey, Dad, it worked. I got abs. Fast forward 3 weeks later, one day he didn't work out with me. He said, Daddy, I lost my abs because I didn't work out yesterday. I said,
But
this
he's
is
learning early though, man.
Yeah.
That's a good positive.
And you
role
talking
model.
about my energy and strength, like same
Oh,
thing.
yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
We went
We
to
went
Stone
to Stone
Mountain.
Mountain.
Shout out to the Stone Mountain Walk.
Stone Mountain
Sunday.
Sunday.
Listen,
Yeah, we gonna bring that back. So we're gonna get the people involved. But yeah, getting back to the role model piece is definitely I definitely feel like it's important because like you said, when you just hit the piece with they see the doctor, the lawyer, I never even looked at it like that, you know?
Yes.
I've always been told like you go with what you see.
Right.
But to see that if someone looks like their doctor looks like them, their lawyer looks like them, you see all these different people and all we see people that rap or play ball, you know?
Exactly.
And that was my mother's biggest thing. Her thing was like, you're more than just somebody who plays sports.
Yes,
Just
more
because
than
you're
that.
6 feet tall, you don't have to play basketball.
Yeah.
So actually, my mother is the one that got me into acting. My mother saw me in a show in the 8th grade. And that was like the first show. So same thing you were talking about. My mom came out.
You want to show up?
Right. I go, I get my lines ready. I'm ready to go. My mom sees me. She comes, pull me to the side like, this is what you have to do. Like, this was made for you. You have to do acting. The way it just everything about it. So
Jay the actor was born.
Jay the actor right there. From that moment on, from the 8th grade, I knew that I wanted to be an actor at that moment. And like you said, getting back to that, just because I had the influence of my mother being that role model, you value their opinion, correct? So
Yes.
having my mom say, you should go ahead and do that, I was like, wow, well, maybe I do. So I definitely feel like it's important to have those role models. And flipping it over, now I know you said you don't really, J-Erv, you don't really have that many entertainers, as you say.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have anybody or any entertainer that you was like, I wanted to be like, or you aspired to be, especially somebody who played ball?
Yeah, I'm gonna say my biggest two was Allen Iverson.
Hey,
Like the swag he came out
Mr.
with.
V.A.
That's just, it was just something different. Like I never saw anything like that, coming, especially then he was from the crib. So, go to, and
It hit different when you're people from home.
yeah, and then, I've actually seen him play like live before.
I
so
would love to see
it
him
was,
play live.
though, listen, I'll tell you this, man, that's probably the fastest crossover I've ever seen in person. Like he's
He changed the game.
When you can cross up Jordan, you can cross up Ben.
and the scary thing was he was really better at football than he was basketball. A lot of people know that.
Yes.
He got a lot of Virginia State records.
But Bubba Chuck. That's what it got.
That's what
He
they
was
call
Mike
him.
Vick. He was Mike
He
Vick.
was Mike Vick before Mike Vick, but
right.
let's not get it twisted. Mike Vick.
Oh, Mike Vick.
that
Oh,
guy.
boy, Vick. But you
He's
already
that
know.
guy.
I don't.
Hey, shout out Mike Vick, man.
Hey,
Mike Vick's that guy.
hey, 2 up, 2 down.
Yeah,
man.
you know what it is.
Yeah. What about you, C-Jizzle? Any entertainers or rappers or actors? Anybody that really kind of inspired you, motivate you?
Big one for me, just going into sports. 2 guys, Steve McNair. Rest in peace, Steve
That's
McNair.
a different. That's a different.
That was my dude. Steve McNair made me love the quarterback position. He
Mhm.
made me get interested in football.
Right.
I just realized that at that point, you don't have to be the stick figure behind the center anymore. A black man could lead a team in that role and be dominant at it.
True.
My man would not even practice throughout the week because he would be so sore, like AI.
Man.
And then show up on Sunday and was balling. You couldn't stop him.
True.
Him and then rest in peace, Mamba, Kobe Bryant.
Mama, definitely.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
was on the court. He was my Jordan. I caught the tail end of Jordan
Okay.
coming out. Kobe was the person who I
Who's that
grew
guy?
up with. He's a few years older than us, so I saw him on TV.
Right.
Seeing him as a rookie, just having that Mamba mentality, like, I'm gonna get what I want. I see what the goal is. I'm gonna go get it, and nobody's
Don't
gonna
care
stop
who it
me.
is.
I don't care
Hold
who
on
it is.
now.
I don't care if you like me. I don't care what it is. I'm not gonna fall into the crowd. I'm not gonna do what these other dudes do. I'm gonna do my thing, and I'm gonna be successful. I'm gonna be the best. And I always had that world's MVP mentality.
Yeah.
Because of the Mamba.
Hey, he changed the game.
He changed the
He
game.
made me a believer because I was a Mike fan. Everyone has their stars that they put just like to me. Mike was a guy like when they compare like who's better. Like I don't even.
We've had this conversation.
We've had a lot of debates about it,
Right.
and to me, I don't even have him in anything because he's just like that figure to me, larger than life. So I was a huge Mike fan. So I looked at Kobe initially as like, oh, this guy's trying to be like Mike. But the dude, just the work ethic he had, just makes you want to be like
It's
this
hard.
dude.
When you say be like Mike,
It's hard,
it's hard.
right?
And he wanted all the smoke.
Right.
He wanted everything.
And he studied, but that's the thing. A lot of people say Mamba mentality. but they don't really understand what it takes to put in that work to be that Mamba.
Right.
He was a dog.
The thing I appreciated most about Kobe, because I'm a diehard Lakers fan. Everybody who know me, y'all know that.
Yeah.
Diehard Lakers fan.
Show him the tramp stamp you got on your back.
Before they start hooping, when you're hooking, shout out to the Lakers. Y'all boys ball.
Right, yeah, shout out LA, man. But the thing, so he could be your friend,
Yes.
but that did not affect him on the court.
Yes.
Good thing.
But he changed because people weren't trying. He wasn't trying to be your
Think
friend.
about it like this though. When Mike was getting ready to retire,
Yeah.
Kobe like, I'm gonna send you out. He dropped 50 on Mike.
Drop 50 on
Like,
I'm gonna embarrass you.
Like, hold that.
But if he knew you had a weakness, he was going to exploit
He
that.
was going to exploit.
Yeah, he was going to exploit it.
He was there.
And I think I just seen recently, I think it was Lou Williams. He was saying they had lost the game.
Oh, he took all his Kobe from him.
shoot.
He said, "Cause y'all soft. Y'all can't wear my
You
shoes."
ain't wearing
That's
nothing.
Kobe, man.
That's the level of intensity it takes to be that guy all the time. And not only that, he did it off the court as well. Like, even with his daughters, like just being able that he was that guy in everything he did.
Yeah, he transitioned well from basketball to writing. He's got he's got a was it Oscar, right?
Yeah,
Oscar. Like the year after he retired, I believe, right? Yeah. I mean, that just shows his level.
He had a vision, but he's someone that knew what he wanted to do and understood that.
Absolutely.
But like you said, a lot of people say, "Oh, I want to have Mamba mentality. I want to be like Mike."
Not willing
Do
to put in
you
that work.
understand what it takes to do that?
So shout out to All the Smoke, one of my favorite podcasts.
Oh yeah.
Steven Jackson, Matt Barnes, y'all boys do a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
That interview
Shout
with
out.
Kobe was
amazing. Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
But to hear Matt Barnes say when Kobe, I guess, broke his right hand,
Yes.
he was in the gym practicing like he was left-handed. Like he was doing everything, a full-fledged practice, but left-handed. He looked at him then and was like, "Oh, that dude gonna be special. Like that dude is gonna be special." Kind of see that.
Oh yeah.
It's just
He had it.
But did you hear the story about when he was at the Drew League? There was a guy heckling Kobe, like that year he came and played at the little pro-am joint.
Right.
You ain't got no left. Kobe dropped 40, took all the shots with his left hand and winked at the guy. Like, it's just certain guys and certain people.
You just don't let
you don't talk to
He was different.
I didn't say anything, sir. I didn't say anything. I promise.
But
Mr.
prayers
Bryant.
definitely go out to his family. So I can
that's
imagine.
Brian. Yeah, and also all the victims.
All the victims, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely want to pray and make sure we can send positive vibes for that. We definitely grateful for the opportunity to be able to see his greatness, really. And and I pray that the people that are in the NBA now, you continue that legacy. Now it's on LeBron.
Yes.
He done gave them the nod to say, "Hey,
You got to keep the light flowing." He gave us the light. He showed us
shoulders away, bro."
the way.
He
Like
was
the
the
blueprint. Showed you how
Taking it wrong.
to leave out of the NBA or your professional sport to transition into a second career.
Yep.
Like he set the precedent.
Yep.
That's what we expect.
And another figure for me, since we talked about sports figure, you already said AI. AI. First, just let me say this one piece on AI. When I saw the Braves on AI,
Going back on road with my mama, she probably to this day still hates Allen Iverson
because
she had to. I had to have the braids. I had to have them. My mom used to be like, "Well, don't you take the braids out?" I just did it. Like, "Mom, but you seen AI? He got the double coming here and going over there."
Man. I remember taking my basketball. So my biggest thing, I would take my basketball to the court. The old heads, you ain't gonna ball anyway. You just gonna sit there and watch it. And I would dribble all day. I mean, practicing crossovers all day. And if you old enough, remember AI had the commercial showing the crossovers.
He had two of them. The first one
showing.
He had the joint where it was the double cross, and then the second one
where he
hit the spin move behind the back. Now I cannot tell you how many times I've gotten the technical foul or just trying to imitate. Right, you know what I'm saying? We should talk about this. Like, I'm definitely if I get an opportunity, I'm gonna hit him with this.
Yeah.
So he changed the game and just everything from the what he wore, braids, the jewelry, tattoos.
They had the whole dress code because of my man.
Yeah.
We talking about practice,
right?
We talking about
crossover because he got your man.
Yeah, he did. He did.
I'm gonna say it again.
He got your man. He recovered though. I mean, he didn't.
He got him twice,
but he recovered.
He recovered.
He won.
He was a split second away from making the play.
Coming back two.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me ask you.
I was about to say who won that game?
No, not even that. Who else would have recovered from that? Anyone else would have been on the floor?
Nobody.
Okay.
I just want to know that's your man's though.
And I did give that man some love though. He did say I put my best move on him. He still was like a half second away from.
He called away. Black Jesus.
He Black Jesus.
That's Black Jesus.
Yeah.
So,
but still, that's your man's
all day. God. Another figure for me definitely football, definitely had to be Prime.
Prime
I can't tell you how many
Shout out
times
to
I
the
did try to hit the dance, playing in the street.
Best corner ever, Deion Sanders, baby.
And he talked trash and backed it up.
You should have went to Florida.
Did you
I hate that you went to Florida State, but
Did you
outside
have
of that,
J-Erv?
you the GOAT, bro.
No, man. I'm not old enough to
That
have
happened to Jerry Curl.
I mean, you want to be like Prime. I just didn't know it. You know what I mean?
No, you know, I didn't have a Jerry Curl, and I
Okay.
hate to be giving y'all this. Boy, I know I'm in here by the leg. But y'all seen Pootie Tang?
Yeah.
You know the slick hat Pootie Tang?
Man, no.
You didn't.
I didn't have it.
Okay.
I tried to get it,
It didn't work.
and it didn't work. It was
So what did yours look like?
Slick back.
hopefully the pictures never surface, ever. But yes, I tried to get close to
If
that.
anybody has these pictures, J-Erv will pay you for these pictures, okay?
We need that.
We need that.
My mom and sister ain't gonna do me like that.
Please do.
Like that.
We need
Mama
that.
C-Jizzle, please. Hey, holla at J-Erv, I got you.
Right.
We need that footage.
Another one football definitely had to be Randy Moss. So to people who know C-Jizzle, he's not even a fan of Florida. Like fan is like too small of a word.
Yeah, you gotta say the whole fanatic.
right, the whole
When
thing.
you look up fanatic in a dictionary, I'm next to it
right
with my Gator stuff on. You know?
Yeah, like it's so that's how I was with Randy Moss. If you remember when they had the fat heads you put on the wall,
Mm-hmm.
I had those on the wall. I had every shoe. I had every color jersey. Even when he went over to Oakland, and you know they just forgot about him then.
Yes.
But I had everything. I remember I got into a full-fledged argument, like we was about to throw the hands with somebody because they tried to tell me that Torrey Hart was better than Randy Moss. Torrey Hart.
Nah, who said that?
This was someone of another race.
Oh, okay. Listen. I just wanted to make sure. And Torrey Holt was a good receiver, but come on.
Yeah, he was
Like, what are we doing?
But
No.
Come
Yeah,
on,
we almost got to a base. So I would, just like how you felt with Kobe, you would throw hands. Like you said something more, it's like I might have to see you. Yeah, let me holler. So that's definitely for
So
me.
now I know how to piss my my counterparts off. Say something about
when
Randy.
that NFL 2K came out,
Oh,
I never forget it. My mom bought me a Dreamcast. I walked home from school, came through the house. I didn't even know it was there. Dropped off my stuff in the room, came back, saw it sitting on our bench in the living room.
Right.
I fell out. Now, this so happened to be a Wednesday. Oh, so Wednesday Bible study, right? The whole time I'm in Bible study, I'm just thinking about what I'm gonna do with Randy Moss. When
He was on the front cover.
He was on the front cover.
Yeah.
All I could think about was what I was gonna do.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Lord. I'm sorry. You know,
I
my
ain't
heart
said
was in a
2K.
place.
But you remember on 2K, no matter where you threw the ball, he was gonna catch.
He was going to get it.
Out of bounds, triple coverage.
And you could only play with the Vikings when you were playing against the computer.
Yeah.
Because if you played with anybody else,
fair.
Yeah, it wasn't fair. It's
Yeah,
like Bo
Like
Jackson.
NFL blitz. Like the Vikings were off limits. Like you just good to
So yeah, those were definitely. And then lastly, switching to one last figure that not even football sports, but definitely with acting. Mark Lawrence, my favorite comedian, favorite actor. He inspired me when I seen the Martin TV show. Right then and there, I knew that I wanted to be an actor too. I was like, I gotta do like the way he had the physical comedy, the different characters that he had, and him being from DC. It was like again somebody from your hometown. Like
right.
like this dude is from where I'm from. He can really do all these things, and he was young at the time. And that show.
Isn't Chappelle from DC?
Yes,
Okay.
another DC.
Okay,
person.
so
yeah,
like that's
I thought I was going to do comedy,
but that was.
but I couldn't really do it. On
Okay,
the spot.
I got you.
Like I'm like Kiki. I'm not like ha ha.
I got
That's a
you.
difference.
That's
I'm like
true art,
Kiki.
Get up in front of people.
Look, he
Make
lying,
them
y'all. He definitely is.
No, I got the jokes, but not like that. They can sustain it for.
I got
So when I seen that, and anybody who has seen Martin, which if you haven't, I don't know what rock you've been under. The moment you hear that theme song, it's a feeling that you get.
Right.
And when I saw him, right, exactly. When you seen that on TV and you seen the characters, I remember going back to my grandma when that show would be on. My grandma would call me. You see the episode you did? You see Dragonfly Jones? Like we would be on the phone like in between commercials because you weren't about to watch it.
I gotta go.
I hang up for it. So those were definitely people that were people I wanted to be like or inspired to be. And that's other than my mom, my grandma, like I said, my godfather. Those are the people I really looked at for.
Right.
But I guess more importantly, kind of like, what advice do you have when it comes to like people aspiring to be a role model, or just in general?
So I can go. I can go with it.
Go ahead. Go.
I appreciate like LeBron James, Kobe. They know their platform.
Understand
They understand what's at stake. They understand what they bring to the table.
Yep.
You have to know that there is always someone watching you.
Right.
There's always someone that's watching what you do and is going to mimic every move you make.
Okay.
So when you're walking life, you have to realize that, and you have to make the best decision possible, because we are, raising the next generation.
Okay.
It may not just be your son. It may not be your daughter. It may be like my nephew King,
So let me flip it to you on this then. Do you feel like entertainers or sports figures, do you feel like they have a responsibility to be role models?
Absolutely.
I absolutely believe that. Just because my son is going to listen to your music.
Okay.
My son is going to watch you play ball. And if he likes you, he likes what he's hearing, he's going to listen to you off the court as well.
Okay.
Now, you do have to raise your own kids. Don't get me wrong. You don't have to allow society to raise your kids.
But what about to the people that say, look, I'm just a rapper, I ain't my fault, I ain't my responsibility. What do you say to the people like that? That just feel like I'm just doing me, and
whether you like it or not, you're going to be a role model. Now, you either can be a good role model or you can be a bad role model. So, it's not necessarily somebody's responsibility. Like, we can't be like, oh, it's your fault.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, like, your parents or, we have a job to raise our kids now, or monitor the things that they're looking at and get involved with. But as an entertainer, as an athlete, you have to be some sort of aware, because kids are buying your jerseys, they're listening to your music. Now, I know what they're pushing because that's what makes money, but you got to have a conscience and heart. Like, listen, I could be rapping about something like, that the Juice WRLD situation. Rest in peace to that young brother. So he didn't have, to me, the best circle around him when I was listening to what happened as far as what was his cause of death, right?
Did they say it was a overdose?
It was an overdose.
Okay.
Overdose. He tried to take some drugs to hide it from, the police or whatever.
So what was this team to, so they're supposed to have that?
Like Michael Vick. His situation. Now, we don't condone dog fighting.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
He should have done that.
But
He should have done. He should have done that time. He should have done that. But all that time over no dog. I know you got dog lovers out there, but that was asinine.
But here's the thing.
Well, his people should have taken
his people should have hey, listen, bro. I'm gonna set you up.
Good.
And you will be good. Or you should have somebody in your circle. Like, hey, Mike, you shouldn't be moving around like that.
Yes.
So you gotta have somebody. You can't have a bunch of yes men or yes women in your corner. You gotta have somebody to let you know, school you, or hey, people are watching.
But everybody just trying to get on. So they feel like if J-Erv is on, and that's my man, all I'm trying to do is worry about making sure he gonna give me mine.
But here's the thing though. So Dame Dash said this long time ago. I'm not gonna say how long because that'll show my age. But he was having a conversation with
40, y'all.
not even close. He was having a conversation with a group of artists, right?
Yep.
He was saying that no one man should be above the crew. The reason why is if the head goes, the crew's gonna crumble.
Yeah.
But if you got an equal part, you can't be touched.
Yes.
Right.
We've lost sight of that. Everybody's individualized and want to just grab on the coattails. Then when that person gets locked up, now what do you do?
Bro, even Barry Bonds had somebody go to jail and ride for a while because they refused to testify and tell him.
That's what you're
supposed
to do. Like, if you the meal
ticket
ticket and I gotta pay my part, everybody can't be the quarterback.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Somebody gotta get there and do the work for it. That's just how it is. So you gotta surround yourself with that. But I definitely feel that the situations like that, you gotta have people that's not just gonna be yes man for.
Right. Somebody should tell you it's not a good decision, man.
Yeah.
Like, just taking it back a little further, like, rest his soul, Tupac. The fight with, that happened in the casino. Yeah. Somebody should have if it was gonna go down, because we don't promote violence. Mm-hmm. But hey, look, bro, you don't need to be doing that. You got too much responsibility. Like,
you got too much to lose.
Kids are looking to you. People are looking to you as a voice. It's unfortunate how that tragedy happened, but one mistake, one person that wasn't in your ear could get you right. Yeah.
So C-Jizzle, at what point, or at any point, did you realize that you were a role model?
It had to be, naturally just being a father, but with my son, he loves the Florida Gators. He's never been to a game. Matter of fact, I think he only been to Florida a handful of times. But my son will argue you down about them Gators. And that's just because he see how passionate I am about it. And even though I'm trying to let him be his own man, you don't have to like. I want you to like sports because I like sports. I want to be able to talk to you in the first place. But
it don't matter.
And I'm trying real heavily like to put Georgia Tech on my son. Yes. Shout out to G Tech, one of the best engineering schools in the world.
Shout out to G Tech.
Right here in our backyard, ATL.
Exactly. That's why I want him to go there so bad. But my son's like, I'm going to Florida. Like I want to do what you wanted to do. Right. That's why I understand it.
Right. What about you, J-Erv?
Yeah, the moment I knew was when my daughter started emulating the things that I was doing. Like, I game a lot. That's one of my stress relievers. So,
pass the stick, son.
shout out to my guys at K-Zoo, Grand Rapids. You know, they my Xbox crew. But I was having a competition, and I was having some choice words. I think my daughter at the time, she was 3, and I heard her in her room repeating what I said. And now it was funny. I know we're trying to keep this, positive.
Go ahead.
But in 2K, when you have a perfect release, people say green, or the same then was green bean. Right? So I was like green bean. So I'm listening. My daughter's in the room. I look around the corner. She's shooting at the basket. She's like, green bean.
No, baby.
Right. No, we can't do that. So from that point on, I just try to make sure, even to the point, like if I have a disagreement, or me and my wife, we try not to argue in front of the kid. And as a male, I try not to raise my voice because what I don't want my daughter to see is thinking that that's how a man supposed to treat a woman.
Yeah, what she seen. Yes, sir. They learned it from their dad.
I'm going straight to jail. So straight to jail with a smile on my face. I'm like Martin and Will and Bad Boy Reggie pulled up. That's exactly how I'm gonna be with my daughter, man. So I just try to make sure that I set a good example, something for her to look up to.
That's big, man. And for me, it actually started a little bit younger for me, and which was kind of surprising for me because being pretty much raised by women. I was looked at, you the man of the house. You the man that got to do this. So, and I understood as a young age that I was different. My mom and grandmother made sure I understood, like, you can't do everything that everyone else do. Now, of course, growing up, I didn't understand that. Like, why? Like, if Erv is my boy and Erv is on the block, I want to be on the block with Erv. Right, that's my ass. And my mom was like, you can't do that. You're not going to be just a statistic. If I have to lay down my life to make sure that's happening, that's what's going to happen. And even when I got to like my grandparents, like their siblings, my great aunts and uncles, having them come up to me saying, I'm inspired by you. I look up to you. Now imagine being 16, 17, you got adults that are 40, 50 years old. They like, I look up to you. Like that was a lot for me to take in. Like, how do I use this information? Like, what am I supposed to do? So that's why you see me move the way I do, because I understood at a young age that it was bigger than just me.
Right.
Me having my company of J-Erv Entertainment, it just wasn't about me acting. It started off as the inspiration by that, but the vision behind it is that I represent more than just myself.
Shout out to J-Erv Entertainment.
Hey, J-Erv Entertainment. Hey, when acting is a lifestyle, not a hobby. Check us out. But I understood early that everything I do, there's people watching me and counting on me. My little siblings, my cousins, like, all my family members always looked at me like, you are the guy that's going to be a catapult to push everything. I was the first male in my family to graduate high school. My mom was the first female. First person in my family to graduate college, get my master's.
That's big.
A bit like,
that's big.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I got that. Shout out for that. But I thank my mom and my grandmother for just being influential to let me know you're going to be special and you have to hone into that gift. And so that's why anybody I'm around, I try to make sure I try to inspire you too, because I may not make it to a certain level that, people think that I'm going, but I have my own vision of what I want to do. Right. But if I can inspire J-Erv C-Jizzle to say, dude, I'm going to do this, and this, hey, we all win.
That is facts.
Yeah. And I'm always trying to push people. Like, I'm big on like, yo, when you got something going on, I'm supportive. Yes. When your kids do something, I'm with it. I'm that guy. And so I feel like, going back to that responsibility piece, you have to understand that whether you like it or not, people are going to look at you if you have a certain stature, you have a certain position that you're in. Right. So you got to take accountability for that.
Take the good with the bad.
I'll even take it back a little further than my son. I do remember growing up, you go outside and play football with your friends, And I do remember, you know, some of the younger guys, you know, I know y'all listening. Shout out to Rock, Kev, y'all boys.
All this.
We would be out there playing, and I noticed, like, you know, I was one of the older ones.
Right.
They would follow what I say and do what I do. And I kind of realized then from a young age, like, I
Being
can't
early.
do and say everything that I'm thinking in front of them because they'll take that back and try to do that. Of course, I was always positive. You know, I remember from young asking them, hey, what's your grades look like?
Right.
You know, hey, what's your report card look like? Like, you know, this is important.
Yeah.
You know, you got to get out here and work out and all this kind of stuff. But, you know, school comes first. You can't be acting a fool when you go to school. I remember having those conversations with those dudes, and they are very successful today. So, not to say I was the only one, but, you know, you got to have those.
It definitely. And I even, it's funny because 2 weeks ago when I was at your son's at junior's basketball game, I understood, like, whether he knew it or not, he was a leader on the team.
Yes.
Like, I noticed that, okay, if he wasn't playing hard, they weren't playing hard.
Right.
If he put his head down, they were like, oh, defeated. But the moment he got into they seen him locked in, they were like,
Oh, it's time to go.
I had to pull him to the side like, nephew, look, you got to understand, they looking at you. So however you move, that's how they going to move.
Right.
So just those small things we don't realize, like you said, you just doing what you were accustomed to doing.
Yes.
You didn't know that, dang, I'm inspiring this person.
Yes.
And now you can see that and look back on it. You can share that with the next person.
Yes.
So we definitely got to make sure that, you know, we're responsible with what we're doing. But any last thoughts on that one?
Just continue to just, you know, be mindful of your surroundings, know who, you know, is looking at you, paying attention because, you know, what you're doing, you might spark the next Kobe, next MJ, you know, take it to, you know, movies, writing books, poems, you know,
Doctors,
you never know. And then also, too, to piggyback off of what you were saying, as far as like growing up, we didn't have a lot of people that kind of look like us, but shout out to Black excellence because we keep running everything from golf.
Definitely.
You know, you got the hockey players. Like we everywhere, right? Your tennis. I mean, we everywhere, man. So that's what I take from that. What about you, Sid?
One thing just to continue with that, me and my wife, we make a conscious effort. You know, our sons, dentists are Black.
Yep.
Doctor Black. If we hire lawyers, gonna be Black. You know, we try to do as much as we can, just to make sure we keep it, you know, in here, and also to show our sons like you can do what you need to do.
These things.
You can do these things. You can do these things in life. Just to kind of put that out there.
Yeah, you got to show them that because, like you said, if you don't see it, then it's just gonna be like, well, I'm just gonna play basketball.
Like y'all was saying, it's so important to know that you're a role model to someone. Like any misstep you make, you just setting them up to make that same misstep. Yeah. So, like J-Erv was saying, he could be the next Kobe, the next Jordan, the next astronaut, the next doctor, next president. And one little thing you say or do, alter that. Kill a dream, man. You don't want to do that. We only want to inspire and
let's
motivate.
Don't be hating, man.
Don't be hating.
Don't be hating. I just got to say that again. Don't be hating.
We do got to have a little bit of hate, man.
Not on the kids, though.
Not on the kids.
On the kids, you definitely got to push them. Don't be telling them they stupid and that's a dumb idea because, you know, whatever it is your kids want to do, you got to push them in that. To make sure that you kind of mold that. And it's our job to do that. So definitely, I appreciate the conversation, but, you know, I got to take a moment because my man, you know, C-Jizzle, off camera before we started, you know, he has a thing that was bothering. So I told him I let him, you know, hit us on our favorite part, you know, my favorite part of the show. You know, tell us why you mad, son.
Tell us why you mad.
Tell us why you mad. What's good?
Tell them why you're mad. I got to tell y'all boys what bothers C-Jizzle.
That's it.
So as a husband and father, I know you all probably go through the same thing that I do.
Gotcha.
My biggest pet peeve in my home, I'm not the most organized guy, but I like my stuff to be in a certain place. So like I sleep with my head wrap on. I put my head wraps in spot A. And if I come back the next day and if it's not in spot A, I hate when stuff roll legs and walk away. That's what I hate the most. And then when you go around the house asking for it, nobody knows where it's at. And then you get told, oh, wait, you don't look for nothing. Well, I didn't move it.
I hear that all the time.
Yeah, that bothers me. I'm like, just leave my stuff alone. And I don't have my own socks. I don't have my own shorts.
Oh, you married.
I'm married.
Now.
And then I got my son who, you know, he thinks he's larger than life. So he going to come in. I go in his room and I see my socks and my shorts and my shirts laying around. It's just crazy. So that bothers me.
Oh, no, you definitely I'm going to take it a little step further. So that definitely is something for me. When you start saying people take stuff. I grew up with my mom and my sisters. They took everything from me. Shoes, socks. I'll never forget, you know, for all people in DC.
You know they listening to watch it, right?
Mom, I love you. You know, Niecy Teasy, I love you. I'll never forget, you know, I was a big fashion person and shoes, and y'all know I'm a sneakerhead. So I never forget, man. I got these shock stunners.
I remember those.
Jones was like $1.60, right?
I remember those.
So I got the shock stunners. I went to the shop in DC, caught me a Shooter's Paradise shirt. Now, for all people in DC, you know, that's a $65 shirt.
With or without tax?
That's just without taxes. That's just straight before we even hit the cash register, right? Get my $65 shirt. I got my shock stunners. I'm about to kill the game. One day I go to mom's house, you know, watch clothes. Yeah, pull it up. They sweet.
Nice.
So man,
okay.
I catch my mother in this shirt, like washing this cleaning around the house. I'm like, do you know how much this shirt costs? Yeah. If she was anybody, my mother, we would have a problem. So I can understand that.
I know your mama looking right now.
Right.
What you gonna do?
It's a shirt. They took everything from you.
The piggyback off that, right? So this is my, you know, with that same subject, but I hate when you lose something and somebody says to you, well, where did you lose it at?
If I knew that,
what I lost, it wouldn't be lost. I would find it already.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm with you though.
Yeah.
But,
and even with moving stuff, you know, my wife, y'all know, Esperanza, I love you, mom. But my wife, I didn't even say mild no more. It's a severe case of OCD.
Okay.
Like if you move something an inch away, like nope, this got to be over to the left. I have the way my memory works. I only remember things in one spot. So if you put it like you said in spot A, you can move to spot C. I'm not gonna see it, and so I get frustrated because she's like, "Well, this is where it belongs." But this is what I remember. You know how long it is to look for your keys, and they be right next to you. Like,
let me tell you, I'll take it up a notch. My beautiful wife, I love you, girl, but you know you get on my nerve. My wife will allow something to be in the spot for weeks. Oh, so you get accustomed to it. She waits until you can find it in your sleep, and then that's when it has to be done.
And where at that point did it bother her?
I think she says, okay, it's been 3 weeks. He's accustomed to it. Let me slide it over there. For what? Oh, that's the one thing that gets me.
So that's why you mad.
That's why I'm mad.
man, great point, though, man.
If y'all listening out there, if y'all are movers of stuff, stop moving stuff.
Yes. Like just leave it alone. Don't worry about the keys being right there. That's how we gonna remember it.
Or put a note where you move the thing and say, I moved to this place.
You're not gonna remember. You're not gonna remember.
I know, but just don't move.
Because my wife was getting the cleaning habit and just be like, I mean, you left it right here. I don't know where it's at.
Yeah.
So,
There's been plenty of Saturdays where I woke up and I'm thinking like, as far as like my thing is, I'll take clothes off or, you know, folding clothes and I'll put it somewhere. My wife will assume, oh, there's dirt. So I'm looking for something. Like, oh yeah, we about to go here. I look, my shirt, oh, I thought it was dirty. And then here's the thing. Well, where'd you put it? I put it in dirty clothes. Then she walks off. So that's just like, hey, don't say nothing. It's in dirty clothes. I let it rock. So
you can choose the battles.
Pick your battles, fellas.
Yeah. What we trying to say is, we love you, wives and people that move stuff, but just let us know when you move it,
or don't move it at all.
True. So thank you, for getting that off your chest, man.
Thank you for listening, fellas.
Yeah, man. I know before we close out, you had mentioned, you had something that you want to, get off your chest and kind of let the people know, before we end. So we're going to go ahead and pass the mic over to you, man. Let you do what you do.
It's a sad time, with the mamba passing and all the victims that was, in the helicopter. It's very, very sad. Kobe was influential to me and my host.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I was one of the people who helped shape us be who we are today. He set the standard. I mean, he was my Jordan. He was that guy. We watched him from high school until he ended it. I want to give a moment of silence out for the Mamba. I think that he deserves that. And during our moment of silence, I also want to think about the others that was affected with this. The people in the plane, their families. People in the helicopter, their families, their friends.
Absolutely.
If I know what I went through when I heard the news, I can just imagine what they went through. And we just want you to know that we are praying for your families.
Absolutely.
One day we will be able to not necessarily get over this loss, but not necessarily we'll be able to deal with it. We won't be mourning and, be able to highlight the light that Kobe brought. So just remember the light that he had, his mentality. We can't lose that. We can only, let's double it up. Kobe's up there looking down right now, asking, why are y'all crying? It's time to go to work. Put in work. You want to let my legacy carry on. I'll put that work in. So if we could, fellas, I'd like to give on the South.
All right, and while we, coming back, not only do we want to think about Kobe and all the big have, use this as an opportunity, as a tool to make sure that you don't hold on to grudges, any ill will you had towards people, let you know that, life is short. You could be here today and gone tomorrow. So let's make the best of you can of life. Live every day like it's your last. Reach out to the people that you don't normally talk to because you never know when that last time is. So we definitely thank you for, giving us, sharing that with us, and allowing the people to see like this is the people's podcast. We here for the people. We not fake. We really want people to know that we out here more than with everyone else. And, along with that, we have also family members too that we've lost over the past. Yes. And we want to let you know that we're here. We're here for the people and we for the people.
Yeah.
And I think, the best way we can end this off is to do it in true Kobe fashion.
True Kobe.
So we're going to go ahead and do it how we was doing. And we're going to do on 3. We're going to do Kobe. 1, 2, 3. Kobe. And we out here. Not